So just this morning, I came across this really weird article on Medium titled "I work at NOAA. Extraterrestrials are under the oceans." Um, there isn't really like an author, but this really piqued my interest, and I just want to share it with you guys. So, most world governments with functioning navies and competent ocean studies know this presence well, at least for decades. Um, some of the things this person says in here is, I don't know, it's interesting. I mean, UAP stands for unidentified anomalous phenomenon, meaning it can go in multiple domains. Anyways, whenever insiders discover something that doesn't fit with the status quo, they file it away without further investigation. We've seen and recorded some pretty weird stuff with various ocean equipment. Believe it or not, we still use the multi-beam sonar method developed in the late 1970s. Combined with more advanced side scan sonar for the most extreme depths, we have an unmistakable picture of what lies below, despite the narration provided to the audience. I guess that means the public. Multi-beam sonar. This is where it gets really weird. I have personally heard the recordings of the beings and their vessels. As we have observed them, their means appear to be at least partially organic. They can survive outside their ships without any apparent apparatus. Their vessels can enter and exit any substantial body of water without disturbing the surface or displacing water. They are humanoids. I'm not sure how this person knows this. Their ships travel through the water as fast as they travel through the atmosphere. Speeds of 200 knots have been recorded underwater. Let this be digested. The sea's fastest known creature is the sailfish, which can travel at around 60 knots. The sounds emitted by these beings resemble the typical dolphin whistles, clicks, and what we call burst impulses, but with a much higher frequency. This oddity has led to hypotheses that these beings may have originated here and have lived in the oceans all this time. Perhaps they were brought here by another planet with oceans. A little bit speculatory. And then the person goes on to say, this is the limit of my knowledge, and this is weird, what I like publishing. What is that? What I like publishing? What does that mean? What I feel comfortable publishing? Ironically, this information is only a tiny fraction of what we've gathered over the years as lab coats. And I feel like I hear this all the time. We don't know why they're here, what they want or don't want, nor do we understand how they reverse the effects of ocean pressure. By the way, whenever there's a hurricane or tsunami, it gets very active over there. Please look into this further if you haven't, as a plethora of evidence is readily available to support my claims. Well, there is a lot of evidence. Then they link this. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this, the case of the mysterious holes on the ocean floor. So this is the NOAA website. It's the actual, government ocean website. And what they're talking about is, this is apparently an unsolved mystery still. They find these little holes that look kind of machined in the ocean floor. And if you were to read this, what they have done is they've put out questions on social media to ask people for theories and stuff like that, but the ultimate origin of the hole still remains a mystery, and indeed the unknowns we encounter are often as deep and mysterious as the ocean itself. Really weird. They have this video.
There's been a lot of excitement about these holes. One of the things we're all interested in is how almost perfectly aligned these are, and the regularity of the spacing of the holes and the size of the holes themselves.
And the shape of the holes.
And the shape,
I will still
sure.
say the angularity, the rectangularness.
Right, I agree. I
Yeah.
mean, my first thought also is that that looks something man-made. They're so perfectly spaced. I mean, why would it always be that spacing? If you look in the fossil record, there are also indications of similar sorts of features. And so this suggests that there's an organism that has been making these sorts of features for a very long time. In the paper that Mike Vecchione and his colleague wrote, they were at about 2,000 meters, I believe.
We've got no idea what makes these things. That we don't even know if they're made by something underneath the surface, making a tunnel, occasionally punching up a hole, or if they're made by something walking along the surface and pushing down through the sediment. It's a mystery, basically.
It's clear that everybody does love a mystery, the public and scientists including. So as the public has been hypothesizing about what might have caused these holes in social media put up by our wonderful partners at the Global Foundation for Ocean Exploration, scientists have also been chatting back and forth about possible mechanisms to create these holes. And we've heard everything from deep ocean floats to gastropods.
I had an interesting email that suggested that something had laid some eggs subsurface, and when those eggs hatch, basically they create those eruptive mounts. Whales feeding in the bottom, beaked whales specifically.
I think I'm going with the idea that there's probably a tunnel connecting these underneath the surface.
I'm really still hoping that I'll hear from either a member of the scientific community or a member of the public with an explanation that is just spot on,
perfect,
incontrovertible.
Can't be disputed.
Yeah, it just makes complete sense because we've had a number of them, and they all, well, not all, but a lot of them have strong merits to them, but none of them are what I would say conclusive.
Anyways, that's the end of this mystery. Maybe this is something I'm going to follow up on. This extraterrestrial stuff is starting to get pretty hot right now, so